No, first I just want to thank you guys for all the reviews. It was a little silly to bring that up, like I said, I don't usually talk about it, but it was a fun thing to mention. And then we got to review everything, give star ratings during the podcast, which I loved.
And each other.
Yeah, that was hilarious, I thought. One of the reviewers didn't think so, but most of them were very positive, and we got over 60 ratings.
What?
And I was blown away. And there were some overwhelmingly positive, a couple well-deserved one-star ratings, but mostly very positive. And you have to pay attention to the positive. So here's one of my favorites. This is from Koska. I think it's Michael Koska, who's I've met, and he's a longtime listener. Anyway, he said, Jason and Karen have the best podcast for The Walking Dead out there. It's insightful, at times funny, enthusiastic, and I love how smooth and professional it feels and sounds, with excellent segment-to-segment flow and great music. They also come across as such down-to-earth, liberating people, which is exactly the type of people I tend to gravitate towards in life or just listening to in this sort of medium. It's fun and interactive and genuinely positive from two people who are just fans of the show. I look for things I like first, while still being able to maintain a critical eye and be able to acknowledge both strengths and weaknesses in the writing, while never losing sight of the fact that I'm a fan. I recommend this to anyone who's looking for the perfect partner cast to the show. I love it because I feel like he gets us, Except I don't know what he means by liberating, like we're breaking people out of jail.
I didn't know anyone knew about that. I try to keep that on the down low. It's a very nice review.
Yeah, that was really nice. So thank you. And thanks for everyone else for being patient with me reading that. So shall we? Okay. So there was a couple things Karen and I were talking about before we started recording that I thought were kind of fun. So I'm doing Walker Stalker Con New York this weekend, and we're starting this new thing. We were doing charades for a while, but it's kind of played out. So it's the Newly Dead game. So we're getting pairs of actors who have spent time together, and then I'm going to send half of them backstage where they can't hear, and then ask the ones questions, and then see if the ones in the back can predict what they say. So we've got one pair is Rooker and T-Dog, Merle and T-Dog. So we're going to see if they can answer questions. I have to go back and watch an episode of the Newlywed Game so I can remember exactly how it goes.
What's the most unusual place
you've ever made whoopee?
In the butt.
I should ask them that. No.
You should totally.
Also, check out if you're at all into Evil Dead or Lucy Lawless, check out our most recent episode of Evil Dead Cast, because Rich and I interviewed Lucy Lawless
with her New Zealand accent.
She was very charming and really open and just no affectation at all. She cussed a lot and she was super cool.
So great that she's on Ash versus Evil Dead.
I know, totally. All right. At one point she's like, I didn't have any clue what I was doing on there. It's just hilarious. So let's move on to the main course.
Let's do it.
Attention shoppers, Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay, it's Deadcast Top 5. This week it's our Top 5 highlights for Season 6, Episode 8, the mid-season finale called Start to Finish.
Start to finish.
What'd you think? Start to mid-season.
Well, let's give it a star rating since we started out with stars.
Okay.
If I was going to give it a star rating, I would maybe give it a 2.5 star rating.
Oh, low.
Kind of low.
Well, that sort of goes right along with what the majority of people are saying. I don't get it. I don't get it.
5-star rating?
No, I say 4.75, which is pretty high for me. Yeah.
Pretty high.
Like, I thought, this one thing may have helped. I don't know if this made a huge difference for me, but you know how I just said last time that I turn off my notifications?
Yeah.
Well, something slipped through that said it's called a cliffhanger. I didn't like how it ended. Well, it's called a cliffhanger. So I knew that it was going to end in the middle of something.
Okay.
And so that didn't bother me at all, maybe because I was kind of ready for it.
Mom.
So I don't know, but I thought, it had some amazing zombie invasion scenes. I thought the acting was great. Morgan and Carol and this Alpha Wolf kid, I think he's a great actor. I think Sam is really good. The little kid that plays Sam is Major Dodson. Really heartbreaking. I thought it had just so many little situations of people on the brink of death with tension, and I was like totally engaged and on the edge of my seat about it, just about everything. And I like a good cliffhanger, actually. So I got done watching that and I'm like, yeah, finally we got a good episode. And then I went online and I'm like, oh, wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah. You know what? You may make me raise my star rating. We'll see. Check back in with me and I'll let you know if my star rating has budged.
At the end of this, I'll text you and see what you... So, you go first.
All right. This time I'll go first. My number 5 is the Big Bad Wolf story, as I like to think of it. He's the Big Bad Wolf. And I thought it was a pretty interesting story, which has not ended. That is one of the cliffhangers. You mentioned that there's some cliffhangers. There's actually several. Cliffhangers. And this one was one of them that I'm very interested to see where this is going to go. I like the fact that we've been watching this for many episodes, this whole thing developing. We've been watching Morgan. We saw him get his philosophy. Saw him put his philosophy into play with this.
And that the wolf back when Morgan first encountered him, and that really tense scene with the tea. Was it tea? Interesting.
And the wolf finally, ending with the wolf kidnapping Dr. Denise. He bested Carol and Morgan, which I didn't think was possible. Knocked them both out. I mean, that's in a way.
Morgan kind of took care of half of it for him.
Yes, he did. Right, exactly. Yeah. He knocked out Carol. But Department of Suspension of Disbelief in that this guy was wounded and tied up, and he still sort of bested two of our best guys. Yeah. But it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. So I'm looking forward to it. That I really liked.
Oh, really? That whole thing with Morgan and Carol too, and the wolf?
I like the whole thing. I have to sort of, put my critical thinking aside for a minute with it a little bit, but I do like it. I wonder where this guy is going to go with Denise. I like the actress who plays Denise very much. I think she's wonderful. And it was heartbreaking to see him grab her. And I also like the thought of the two philosophies. Was Morgan right now? Can we say maybe Morgan should have taken care of business?
Right. Well, when this whole Morgan episode came up, I think you and I both said that we admired Morgan, but we would have killed that guy.
Yes.
Yes. So I just want to have that be on the record, just in case that guy ends up being really bad, that we don't look too stupid. We both said we'd kill him.
Yes.
But it's hard because I admire him and I want him to be right.
Right.
And I do think that the way to a better solution a lot of times is to be peaceful in a situation where it seems like you should fight. But in this case, this guy, like Morgan saying to Denise, I think it was Denise or maybe it was Carol, he's like, even if we have to keep him here, and the guy's like, well, I'd get out. And he's like, dude, shut up. I'm trying to argue for saving your life here.
Right.
Ixnay on the octave. So the guy, my point is that he's just saying, I'm going to kill. Look, okay, right? So at that point,
it's
like, yeah.
Escaping, killing, not really.
You should kill me.
Right.
Even he's arguing for it.
He seemed to be almost.
Yeah, he is. But it's interesting. I mean, I love that because it really tests Morgan's philosophy. This is the most extreme case you're probably going to find.
Right.
It's like, what if the most extreme would be if that guy just had Judith in between two slices of bread or something? And it's just like, how about now, Morgan?
A little Judith sandwich.
Yeah. But something you were saying about the multiple cliffhangers reminded me of this interview excerpt from the news, but I'm going to read it now instead. It's Scott Gimple. They said from Entertainment Weekly, it's a very interesting place to cut it, sort of on a cliffhanger here with them trying to get out through the herd and Sam potentially starting to freak out. How did you settle on that spot? He says it was when each character reached their point of what their goal was or their highest point of peril. It's the promise of watching all those stories play out, each one of them. So they did that on purpose, which I thought was pretty cool.
The highest point of peril.
Because we're used to this mid-season finales sort of wrapping up the first story arc, because I think they've been doing that lately. But this show changes things up, and I like that. I want it to be unpredictable, not like, it's not the way it was supposed to be. You know, you're supposed to wrap it up because that's what you did before.
Right. Nope. There are actual cliffhangers, and there's a bunch of them, too.
Yeah. I mean, I could see people going, well, didn't we just have to endure a long wait about Glenn? So now you're giving us another one. I mean, I could see people getting annoyed with that.
Couple months, people.
Right. Find some other cool stuff to do. I have a recommendation. In fact, I was going to save this to the end, but Ex Machina is on Netflix now, I heard. Did you guys get around to seeing that?
Yes, it's wonderful.
Isn't it good?
Oh my God.
Okay,
so good.
Mr. Blog. He's the only one left I know.
I also have to recommend The Leftovers.
Yeah, on Netflix. Yeah, I need to get caught up on that because I've just been hearing how great it is. Okay, my number 5 is Little Sam, who I felt for. While I was writing in my notes, I just kept like 3 or 4 or 5 times I wrote, "Oh, poor Sam," and then when I was reading it back, I'm like, "Wow, I wrote poor Sam like 5 times," because he had that anxious, scared, sad look on his face, and it just tugged on my dad genes. You know, it was like, oh man, this poor kid.
You're such a dad,
and he was so good at it, and I love the opening scene with the tiptoe through the tulips. Play in the ukulele, and it was like innocence, and you see his toys and his crayon drawing. Did you notice what it was of?
It seemed to be 2 people. I mean, it didn't seem like a happy kind of thing. It looked like something bloody and somebody getting killed.
I think it was a visual of Carol's description of what would happen to Sam.
Getting tied up on the tree.
Yeah, it was Sam tied to a tree and 2 cute little zombies coming in to eat him. And so I looked back at Carol's dialogue from that episode. "You got to promise me you can keep it a secret that I came here. But I have to tell my mom. I mean, I tell my mom everything." "You can never tell anyone, especially your mom, because if you do, one morning you'll wake up and you won't be in your bed. Where will I be? You'll be outside the walls, far away, tied to a tree, and you'll scream and scream because you'll be so afraid. No one will come to help because no one will hear you. Well, something will hear you. The monsters will come, the ones out there, and you won't be able to run away when they come for you, and they will tear you apart and eat you up, all while you're still alive, all while you can still feel it, and then afterwards no one will ever know what happened to you. Or you can promise not to ever tell anyone what you saw here, and then nothing will happen, and you'll get cookies."
Did you just make all that up?
That's what Carol said.
Did she really?
Yeah. Remember that? Remember when she was freaking him out so he wouldn't tell that she was like in the armory or wherever?
Oh my God. You know what? I do remember that, but I didn't remember. Now that you read it like that, I didn't remember how absolutely heinous and horrible that's. I mean,
I think Carol is awful, to tell you the truth. I know you guys all love her, but
that's the worst thing.
Yeah.
When you just read it right there, I thought, no, there's no way she said that. Wow, she said that.
And you know, he's freaking out right now in this cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to get at least a few people killed. And I think that you can trace that right back to Carol's influence. Because it obviously made a huge impact on him that he's drawing pictures of it and he's staying up upstairs worried about the monsters and freaked out.
And wasting cookies.
Yeah. And I also liked the ants coming onto the cookie. I thought it was just sort of a really neat artistic kind of metaphor / possibly foreshadowing and the ending of Innocence and all these things wrapped up into one. So I don't know. All the stuff with Sam I found very moving and well done.
Yeah, I liked the Sam stuff too, but I think part of what's happening with Sam some of the fault lies with his mom. He and his older brother are both pretty useless at this point. I mean, their dad just died in the Walking Dead universe. It's only been like, a couple of days or something since their dad was shot to death right in front of them. Mm-hmm. Pretty traumatic. And this is also a dad who abused them. So they're suffering from dad abuse, and then they're suffering from seeing their abusive dad gunned down right in front of them. Awful. Absolutely. But their mom doesn't seem to be, I mean, she did bake a plate of cookies, so that's something. But, she could have told Sam, she basically told Sam, pretend to be brave and you're going to have to wear the zombie gunk. And that
Although
was
they
pretty
seem
much
to have
it.
forgotten about him until he
Yes,
discovered
they
them.
really-
Oh, yeah.
Mom,
I have
what
a little kid.
Oh, yeah, he was in the closet. Yeah, I would have just...
So wait, what should she have done though that she didn't do?
She's-
I mean, I'm not disagreeing, but I'm not sure. I mean, we've seen that pretty much all the Alexandrians have not done a great job of being prepared.
Right.
So it's not just mom not preparing Sam. It's all of them sort of living in this fantasy world that they don't need to know how to fight and stuff.
Right. I don't know what she could have done better, but Sam and Ron
Yeah, Ron.
seem really, really awful, annoying characters. Not Sam so much. Ron is where I'm pointing the finger of blame right now. But Ron seems terrible. I mean, he really does. And what could she have done better? I don't know.
I guess I have a soft spot for these guys.
Ron too?
Yeah, I mean, I don't empathize, but he's been in an abusive situation.
Yes. Yeah.
And when he said, I'm dead. Well, first off, if someone's mad at you, and you hear that, that's scary because you're like, oh, that means they pretty much don't care what happens.
Right.
And then if they then say, and you're dead too, then that's
Right.
when you want to run up and clock them like Carl did. So good job, Carl. But anyways, he just feels so despondent and, I wouldn't call that annoying. I would just call it tragic.
You're a nicer person than I am. I would have also advised Sam to just keep his eyes down instead of looking up. Zombies are very scary.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, just hold my hand and close your eyes.
Or just
Or
look
look
down
at your
at the
feet.
ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't trip. You all are apt to trip.
And just or say they're very goofy, so try not to laugh.
Right. Yes, they're just extras in zombie costumes.
But I was not at all like, I mean, I guess I was a little bit like, oh, you better shut that kid up. But I wasn't like, what a stupid kid. I was just like, oh, that poor kid, he's freaking out, He's, I don't know, 9 years old or something. You got to expect that might happen. It kind
Right.
of reminds me now that I'm thinking of it of MASH, the last episode of MASH, where they had the baby in the bus and they had to, it was crying and they wanted it to be quiet. So sad.
Oh,
But you're not
God.
going to go, oh, what a annoying baby. I mean, I guess you might, but you might just feel sorry
It's
for the
really
kid.
sad.
He doesn't want to hurt anybody.
No, but what could he possibly be? He is freaking out, but nothing good is going to come of that.
No, not at all. It's all Carol's fault.
All right, my turn.
Yeah.
Along those lines, I like that they pulled out the wearing the zombie goo trick. And
Yeah.
I thought that was great. And I
And
thought,
this
no,
was the most disgustingly grody time they've ever done that because they really showed them getting in there and getting the goop out and
Yes.
carving open the body.
yes, exactly. Although they didn't put on their hair or anything. And I thought, you know what? You should probably, put something on your hair just to
It
really
looked
mask.
funny. It looked incomplete. But I think you could excuse it because just by saying, well, it's mostly about smell, not about the look.
Right.
But
And they'll smell just fine. And where were they headed out to? Did Rick say?
I don't think he said.
Just another house
I
somewhere in
assume, yeah,
Alexandria.
that was more secure.
Yeah. Since,
Maybe he didn't even know for sure. I don't know. Yeah.
yeah. Since let's face it, they broke down the door and the zombies got in. Blah blah blah. It was all bad.
It was compromised.
It was compromised. Okay, so that's all. Just wearing the zombie goo. I thought that was good.
Well, my 4 is zombies, and I think this episode, well, the beginning where the tower fell,
Yes.
and then there was a cloud of debris and dust, and then you start to hear the zombie sounds, and then they come out of the dust.
Yes.
I was like, whoa, this is so cool. I love it. I mean, it still tickles me. I think maybe a lot of people are getting desensitized to this stuff with the zombies, but maybe I'm a little, but I'm like, yeah, this is straight out of Romero.
And did you see the zombie with the jaw hanging
Yeah.
off, and the jaw was
Flapping around.
swinging. Oh,
really
it was
cool.
so great. Yeah, I wrote that down because it was my favorite zombie of the entire episode.
I mean, anyone who says this episode didn't have any action, I don't get that. I don't get
it had
it at
plenty
all.
of action.
It had lots of action.
And lots of zombies.
Yeah, and when they were in the house and the zombies broke through, it was
Yeah.
like Michonne and Rick and Father Gabriel. I'm like, after 6 years, we finally get a scene straight out of Night of the Living Dead that I've been waiting for this whole time, you know? Except that this is like Night of the Living Dead with people who are more experienced and know how to deal
Right.
with things a little better,
Right.
like Michonne with her katana.
Right.
But I was just like, oh, this is so cool.
Did you notice when the zombies went upstairs and Deanna at the end went fired her gun on them? Did you
Yeah.
notice that the swing jaw zombie, I think he was the leader of the pack at that point.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. I don't know.
I just loved him so much. I just wanted to mention him again.
And the weird thing about that guy is when he was a human, his jaw actually got dislocated at that point. And then he became a zombie.
Is that really your story and you're sticking to it?
I hope I don't get bit.
That would be embarrassing.
So anyway, I loved all the zombie stuff. I thought
Yep.
this was top notch.
I did
zombie
too.
stuff.
That was my number 3 with the zombies this week.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
I didn't
Any
even have like a
extra
zombie.
stuff?
I didn't even have a zombie kill of the week. I just had a zombie of the week, and it was the
Yeah.
swinging down one.
Because there weren't really any fantastic kills that I can think of. There was just headshots.
Right. And there were other great zombies that had things sticking in them. Like one of the female zombies had like a wooden stake in her, which she clearly ran into something and it broke
Oh,
off.
yeah,
And
yeah.
she was walking around with a wooden
That's
stake.
awesome.
I thought, now that I can get behind. Yep.
And just also, you know, we've been living with Alexandria for a while now, and this is the invasion. So you see them crawling in like ants
Yeah.
and spreading out, coming down the roads of suburbia.
Yep.
You know, it's just some great visuals there.
I don't think Alexandria is going to come back from this. I mean, maybe they can, but they've got a lot of work to do. If they're going
Yeah.
to try to make it work again in Alexandria, it's going to be rough. They're going to have to resurrect the wall. They're going to have to then hunt down every single zombie and
Yeah.
get every single zombie and try to come back from that. I don't know.
There are some optimists. Tara seems to think. Tara's like, well, you know, for a place like this, you got to pay for it somehow. And
Right.
Rosie's like, haven't we enough? But it made me think when we bought this place, I had to fight off a bunch of zombies.
Do you mean termites?
Oh, right. That's true. Yeah, that was pretty horrific. God, there was flying. I thought they were moths, but then they looked really nasty.
They were
Found out
termites, right?
Termites, yeah.
Did you ever tent the place?
No, we just had people come in and inject poison into the walls. Anyway, so if you find yourself coughing or your skin's peeling off or anything,
I keep wondering what
Maybe
that's
why.
about. That's what it is.
all right, where are we? My turn, number 3.
Yep.
So Carol and Morgan, I really liked seeing Carol and Morgan at odds because they're kind of opposites, and I love them both. You know, I've been talking about how Carol's awful, but I always say I love watching her. And Melissa McBride's amazing. And Morgan, you know, I think neither one of them is clearly right. I don't think.
Right. They're kind of the two extremes.
Yeah.
And probably the happy place lies somewhere in between.
Maybe so, yeah. Oh, yeah, I was talking about optimists. So there's Rick, May. I mean, Deanna was an optimist, ironically enough. Trying to kind of pass the reins on to Rick and Michonne.
Right.
You know? So I think there's enough people who are like going to be willing to try and salvage the place.
There's a lot that they have going for it. They have, you know, the rainwater catchment systems in place. They've got solar. So they have water and energy covered. And those are two huge things too. Oh, and I think they have septic. So they have a whole septic system too.
And
all
the wall that's still left.
And a giant chunk of the wall. So if they can somehow fix the wall, take care of the Zeds that are inside, they'll be okay. Maybe.
So anyway, Carol and Morgan. So as I said, I it's tough because I want Morgan to be right, but I just don't think he is. And
Not this time.
Yeah, but I did wonder it was so urgent for Carol to kill this guy immediately. Why? I mean,
Yeah, during a zombie attack.
yeah.
Really?
I guess
You're going to go
maybe
in there?
She thought this could be his chance to break out and cause trouble. Jenny said it was
Right.
OCD. It did seem kind of OCD. But anyway, I think it was more for drama's sake.
You'll notice that he didn't kill he could have shot people in the room, but he just left. He spared them.
Yeah, and Denise had just been saying, well, another point I'll just get into it now is the alpha wolf. Like I don't really have him figured out,
Right.
but he's partly I kind of enjoy that because I want to be kept on edge.
Yeah.
But he's saying things like none of you should be here, like you're all dead, which was kind of similar to what Ron was saying. And he said, what do you think I've done? And she said, you've killed people. He said, we freed them. And then we were just going to use what was left. So it's like he thinks they're a force of nature or that people need to be freed, or I don't know. It just really macabre stuff that doesn't totally make sense. But when Denise said, don't kill us because you said we're already dead anyway, so there's no reason to kill us. I wondered if that had any bearing on why he didn't go ahead and shoot them all.
Yeah, maybe she or Morgan got through to him, or maybe he's just going to save his bullets for more important stuff, which he'll need because it's foolish to go outside and try to, navigate the Zeds who are strolling past.
And it was funny kind of terrifying how he came at her with a knife and she's like, you're so full of shit, but she was terrified, and he's like, ha ha ha. He's like, you're the kind of person I like, or whatever. That's what I love about people, or something. It's like, what is going on? I think he's just a psychopath, right? But they're all like that, the wolves. So would these psychopaths all find each other and just group together?
Well, I'm going to talk about that because that's something that I want to get your take on.
All right. Well, before we move on, let me get to our first sponsor this week. So it's an old favorite of mine. Well, let me give you a hint first. Do you like books and find that you never have time to read them? Guess who has the perfect solution?
Audible.com.
McDonald's. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, audible.com. And so you can get audiobooks and listen to the ones you've been meaning to read, but you can do it on the go, at the gym, during your commute, when you're doing the dishes, whatever you want. So you'll have more time to read stuff. And there's a lot to read because they have over 180,000 now audio programs. There's audiobooks. There's also broadcasters, entertainers, magazines, newspapers, business information. Their app is great. It's free for one thing. It works on, iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Phone, and Kindle Fire, and also MP3 players. And they have this great listen guarantee. So if you decide you don't like the book, you can just exchange it with another title anytime, no questions asked. What if it was like 2 questions asked?
What's your favorite color?
Green. Wrong. So I asked for some audiobook recommendations for some of our listeners today. Here's a few. Leslie Cox says, I enjoyed Mountain Man by Keith C. Blakemore.
Yeah.
I don't know. Eric Sherman said, a bit dry, but maybe Zedheads would be into Jared Diamond's books, Guns, Germs, and Steel.
Those are great.
Or Collapse. Mm-hmm. You read those?
I read bits and pieces of all of those because I get the New Yorker. And
I
Jared
see.
Diamond's always
neat
publishing.
Cool. And so they're like kind of infection apocalypse.
No, it's about how societies in fact collapse. He's a historian, really. He's an anthropologist and historian. He talks about societies in the past and why they're not around anymore. The Mayan, why the Mayan civilization collapsed.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
I'm curious about that.
Yeah,
kind of
you'd love Jared Diamond.
No society lasts forever.
He's fascinating.
Even though we think we will.
You should totally listen to him. Yeah, he's great.
This one I thought was interesting from Harv Landros. Life is a Keith Richard biography voiced by Johnny Depp. And then my favorite from Jamie Dimmick, Lock and Key by Joe Hill. Lock and Key was this amazing comic, one of my favorites, right up there with Walking Dead. And it's more of an audio play than an audio book. kind of like the World War Z.
Yeah.
This one has Haley Joel Osment, Tatiana Maslany from Orphan Black, Kate Mulgrew from Orange is the New Black, and Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez, who's the artist. I guess he does a voice, and Stephen King's in there too, and 50 other voice actors. So I listened to some of it, and it was great.
I've got a recommendation. I just finished a book called Room that was made into a movie.
Yeah. I'm so curious about that.
You should read it. It's great.
Okay. All right, cool. That's going up to the top of my list for sure.
Good.
Because the story is so intriguing. It's just this, from what I can gather, a mom gets like kidnapped and has to raise her kid in a room or something.
Yep.
And then
that is it exactly.
It's creepy.
Yep.
So for you guys, audible.com's offering their 30-day trial membership free. Go to audiblepodcast.com/deadcast to start your free trial today. And if you do that, you can show your support for our podcast and get that free 30-day trial at audiblepodcast.com/deadcast.
Thanks, Audible.
Thanks, Audible. All right. So where were we in our list?
All right, I'm going to get to, I think I'm going to get to my number 2.
Go for it.
All right. So we alluded to a new threat and actually a new cliffhanger. Did you watch the prologue that was the little extra that they tacked on 10 minutes after it? Or it's on AMC. You can watch the video, but it's a prologue for the next half of season 6.
I did, although I don't know if we should talk too much about that, because what if people didn't all see it? What do you think?
I think who didn't see it? We always talk about next week on The Walking Dead. So this is a little teaser.
We do it in that segment, though.
Oh, okay.
What if we wait and talk about it at the end of this so people can skip ahead?
All right. I'm not going to talk about it.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do it at the end of the segment so we can tell people to skip ahead.
So cut all this out.
Because there's a lot of, you didn't say anything yet, but no, I think we should just leave it like this and then we'll talk about it at the end.
I think we should just keep talking about whether we should keep it in or not.
Okay. My number 2 is, should we keep it in? Go ahead. So you got something else?
That's funny. I do.
Okay.
All right. So my new number 2, which is actually my number 1, is Goodbye, Mayor Deanna. Congresswoman Deanna, actually. Congresswoman and dreamer. I liked her style. I liked Tova Feldshuh. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. I liked really just about everything about her. She's a leader and a fighter, but she knew when she was licked, and she trusted our guy Rick and handed over leadership to him, as you mentioned before. She was a mentor to Maggie. And, I missed her because she was one of the few really, truly good characters, and she was a dreamer. And, for every Deanna who's an optimist and believes in society and believes in a wonderful future for everybody, there's dozens and dozens of morally reprehensible characters in this show. So she was a real breath of fresh air. I liked her talking to Michonne. And, to paraphrase her, she led her life her way from start to finish. And she went out with guns blazing. And that was fun to watch, too. She had a great line when she found out she'd been bit. She says, well, shit. Which was awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Although I have to say,
crap.
Man, this day is really not going my way. I was worried for Judith when Deanna.
She's all, Penny.
Oh, it's heads up! Yay! I was worried for Judith when Deanna went to say goodbye to her, and Judith was screaming her head off, and Rick comes running with an axe, and Deanna was like, "I'm still me."
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, note to Deanna: when you're about to turn into a zombie, maybe stay away from the babies.
And don't lean in as if you're eating them.
Yeah, and rub your bloody blood all over them.
Right. Maybe Judith was screaming though because she wanted Tiptoe Through the Tulips to be taken off of constant play.
Turn it off,
please! I'm begging you, somebody. So that was my number 2.
Yeah, I loved her, and I thought Tova did an amazing job. And I think the scenes between Michonne and Deanna, Denai Guerrero seemed genuinely moved to me. She was just so, Deanna was like, you need to, what do you want? and
Yeah.
you need to figure it out. And Michonne's like, I will. And it just looked like they were really having a moment, It's good
Yeah.
acting, but I feel like their emotions were really in it. In fact, I would love to ask one of them. I might get to do a panel with Tova in New York, so
Good.
I'm going to ask her about how that went. But it just seemed like it was really moving for both of them, and that made it special for me. I really love those scenes.
I have to say, anybody who's thinking about going to Walker Stalker Con New York, if you do go, please go to that panel. Any panel that she's on, Tova Feldshuh, because she's fabulous. It was really fun listening. Jason and I just happened to be in the room getting ready for another panel, and we were listening to her, and she was, blowing.
She's just very confident about herself and what she has to
tells
say.
Great stories.
Yeah.
She was blowing our heads up. It was great.
Yeah, she said, I'm lucky, Michonne. She seemed very at peace, which was really nice to see.
Yeah.
I'm lucky working with my family towards a better future. It's all I ever wanted. That's what I got. I got to do what I wanted right up to the end. So that was really, I don't know, not heartwarming, but it just was, it felt good to hear.
Yep.
Like, hey, you're at peace with your death here.
Yep.
That's nice to see.
It's what we all want. Mm-hmm. I'd like to be like that on my deathbed.
Right. Yeah, totally. It was inspiring. And, I don't want all the deaths to be like that. Like, look at Tyrese. That was sort of a crazy, tumultuous death, a struggling to figure it out. And, and this was much more like, okay, I can be okay with this. I need to tell a few people things. She wrote something down for Spencer and Maggie, which I hope we get to hear what she wrote, in February or whatever. But I really liked it. And then asking Rick to look out for Spencer, and he goes, oh yeah, sure I will. And she's like, I want you to look out for him like you would your people.
And he's like,
oh God, I don't know if I can. And so that's just touches to what, like I loved the line where Carl says, look, I got to tell you something. Your dad was an asshole.
Yeah. My dad killed your dad, but your dad was an asshole.
And I'm thinking, well, Rick's been kind of an asshole in some ways too. Not like Pete. Pete was overtly abusive, but Rick was dismissive over lives. And he's just like, if you have to lose a few of these guys, that's the way it's going to be. And this is what it boils down to, is that he just valued his own people over people that he didn't know. Yeah. And if you're going to be a leader, you can't do that. No. So, I think this is a turning point for him. Good. I hope so. And Michonne too. I think she's found some purpose. So I think this episode has been, a bit of a turning point for people. Okay. You know what? I just increased my rating half a star. I like it better. Nice. By the way, on The Talking Dead, Tova did push-ups on stage. Oh, wow. Yeah. It was great, actually. They have a picture of her doing push-ups with Andrew Lincoln on set. Oh, wow. Yeah. She's pretty good. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I get the feeling that that's another reason why I suspect that was real for Denai Guerrero, because I think Tova was probably just this big presence on set that people are sorry to see go. Yes. She seems like she would be. Yeah. So anyway, where are we? I think we're at my number one. Okay. Well, let me, I just did my number one. Okay. So you're going to talk about that scene, right? The prologue or little thing that was in. Whenever you want me to. That's what you're going to talk about for your number one. Yeah, but I'll talk about later. Let's do our notes, because I want to talk about that too. Let's do our notes. Go ahead. All right. I had a couple notes, and one is that I already mentioned is Tiptoe Through the Tulips. For God's sakes, I'm begging you, kid. Take that record off. I think somebody even said, turn the record off. Let's. You don't like it, huh? I thought it was really cool. Did you? Yeah. Do you have it? Because it's so just such a contrast to what's happening, and it's like him trying to hold on to his innocence and his childhood. Oh, yeah. I liked it in the intro, no problem. But it played again during the episode, and I was like, somebody take that record off. It is clearly on repeat. Yeah. I also liked when I told you to turn that off, Sam. There are a couple of funny moments when Rick was running and he's retreating from the zombie horde with Deanna, and Carl runs up behind him and he looks back and he says, "Good, you're safe."
which is hilarious because nobody is safe. Did you notice the giant horde of zombies right behind you?
Well, he's at least alive and has all his body parts, he seems to. But I really like that Jesse said, come over here, I've got Judith, because that's an important thing to say. Like, that's, you know, you could say a lot of different things like, hey, it's safe in here. But to say that, then they're going to come with you.
Your daughter. That's exactly where Rick would go. Yeah, exactly. I also like when Eugene said that lockpicking is within his skill set, which is great. And I'm thinking.
Finally did something, because he was showing his cowardliness again this episode. He was standing there with a machete like, help.
I'm a really bad fighter, but I can pick locks. Why can he pick locks? What did he do before the zombie apocalypse, I wonder?
Thief.
Yes. So that was really, those are pretty much my notes. I think most of the other notes we already spoke about.
Okay, here's mine. So I already mentioned the turning points, Rick and Michonne. Maybe Gabriel, he looked at Rick and said, I'm going to go through with this no matter what. Now, we'll see if he actually lives up to it.
We'll see.
Some good lines. Deanna says, no offense to Michonne, but whatever she's doing hurts like a son of a bitch. I like that. She's like, I'm right here. And then Department of Suspension Disbelief. Michonne is dressing Deanna's leg before checking under that like big expanding red spot on her side.
Right.
Let me finish this part first.
Before we get to the tiny little scrape that must be on your side.
Another good line is when Rick was trying to get in to open the door to save Carl from Ron, and he said, Carl. I'm like, yes. When he says that, then Carol's like, I will kill you to kill him because I don't want anyone else to die.
Yes.
I'll kill you and then a few of you.
But I don't want anyone else.
It makes sense. I acknowledge it, but it just seems funny.
Yes.
I'm going to kill a few of you. That's like her philosophy. She probably said the same thing to Karen and David right before she killed them.
I'm going to kill you guys so that nobody dies.
Nobody else dies.
What?
I thought it was interesting that Glenn knew that Maggie was pregnant. Didn't surprise me. It seems like we've seen them whispering a lot lately. And Rosita's bummed because she thinks Abraham might be dead, but it's kind of worse.
Right. Yes.
And
we'll see.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about, in case you don't know what we're talking about, there was a 2-minute clip that aired during Into the Badlands. I think it was during the first commercial break. So if you didn't see that and you don't want to hear about it until you've seen it, I think you can find it on YouTube. So go YouTube that and then come back.
And we'll wait here.
So what did you think?
This was the prologue for the next half of season 6, and it showed Abraham, Sasha, and Daryl getting pulled over by the biker gang. And for God's sake, you know what? Here's what I thought. I thought, how many bad gangs are there out there now? And it was,
this is the same gang from last episode with the two girls trying to get away and the guy trying to get away from, because they don't like him and they don't want to kneel before him. Him is Negan.
And was that Negan at the head of the motorcycle gang?
No.
That wasn't Negan.
No.
Because they referred to this guy.
Yeah. They cast Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan. He's the comedian from Watchmen. And he's kind of a big, imposing guy. But Negan's awesome. Well, I don't want to talk too much about Negan from the comics, but I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan's going to blow us away.
I hope so, but I'm worried that it's just going to be yet another psychopathic gang that wants to do something like eat you or kill you, take your stuff. Did I mention eat you?
In the I will say this about the comics. Over the course of the 147 issues or whatever,